Welcome back. Pregame.tv. Steve Fezzik flying solo, breaking down the Green Bay Packers and how will the Pack do in 2014. I'm going to give you a best bet on one of the games of the year games. Let's talk about these Packers because I think a lot of folks are talking about week one. They're catching 5.5 in Seattle, and the thought is, oh, Seattle's home field's worth 4.5. So the marketplace is saying Green Bay is only 1 point worse than Seattle after Seattle rocked and rolled and just crushed Denver. How can that be the case? Well, I can see how it can be the case. I'm really not sure if Green Bay won't be the very best team in the NFL. Let me repeat that. Green Bay could very well be the best team in the NFL. Let me talk about Green Bay, why they have the pedigree, why they could get it done. Let's go back 4 years. They go ahead and win the Super Bowl. They're only 10-6. But they storm through as a wild card, and by the time they get to the Super Bowl, it's clear they are indeed the best team. They're laying 2.5 to 3 to the Steelers, and they get it done with the win and the cover. Following year, 15-1 this Packer team. They were a juggernaut. How good were they? Well, when they got to the playoffs, they were laying 9 points home against the New York Giants. They did lose that game, but the mere fact that they could be laying 9 to the eventual Super Bowl champions that year, that's pretty darn impressive. Let's go to the next year. Packers have a little bit of a down year. Should have been 12-4 if you remember 2 years ago. Replacement referees. I actually think the replacement referees did a great job. There was only one game, in my opinion, that they really blew the entire year. The regular refs blow one a week, it seems like, but the game they blew, Monday Night Football, high profile, in Seattle, you might recall, that's the game that Russell Wilson threw the only game-winning interception in the history of the NFL as Golden Tate was awarded the touchdown. Who are they playing? Green Bay Packers. So the Packers go down. They only go 11-5. They actually should have been 12-3 that year. The Vikings needed a game like blood in Minnesota at the end of the year, and they won that one 37-34. Long story short, the Packers get in the playoffs. They have to go to San Francisco in the second round of the playoffs after winning easily the first round, and the Packers were catching only 3 points. That's the Frisco team that lost to Baltimore in the Super Bowl. Everyone knows San Francisco had the best team that year, and Baltimore got lucky in many ways to win that game. They played very well. But the fact that Green Bay was only catching 3 in Frisco speaks volumes. What happens this year? Well, they go ahead and right off the bat, Beluga, one of their linemen, one of their really good linemen, on a shuffled O-line goes down in preseason in August. So immediately they're dealing with an injury. And they still play very well. They start out, I believe, 5-2. Their losses by 6 points at San Francisco, perfectly excusable in a close game. Could have gone either way. Their other loss was at the Bengals in the jungle. And in that game, they destroyed the Bengals. They crushed them the whole game. They're up 9. Aaron Rodgers throws an interception he never throws in the fourth quarter. And then, Newman recovers a fumble for the Bengals. He sprints 65 yards for the game-winning touchdown. It was just ridiculous. Bengals get the win 34-30, but the Packers dominated. Another example of how good the Packers were, they go into Baltimore. They crush Baltimore all over the field. They're up 9 late in the game. Flacco and company managed a backdoor score to only lose by 2. Game ends with Green Bay driving in the red zone, about to punch it in again. They were rolling. They were going to go 12-4, and they were going to be one of these NFC teams with Seattle, with San Francisco, absolutely vying for the title last year. And then we all know what happens. Home game, night game against the Chicago Bears, and down goes Aaron Rodgers, and with it, the season. They have a bunch of stiffs out there. Seneca Wallace, third-string quarterback I've never heard of and will never hear of again, and lose, tie. By the time they get Flynn back in there, the mighty Flynn, they get a win against some crap team, and they're still amazingly alive. Rodgers comes back. He beats the Bears in Chicago. They play a home game against San Francisco, who really was the best team last year, power rating-wise, or right there with Seattle and Denver. No argument. And game could have gone either way. Fourth quarter could have gone either way, despite Rodgers totally rusty, playing with a recently healed collarbone fracture. So you add it all up, if Rodgers doesn't get hurt, Green Bay is right in that mix with Seattle, San Francisco, and Denver, all of them being equivalent, but now they're not getting priced like it because they went 8-7-1. They're the team that's 16-1 versus all these other teams that are 8-1, and that's why there is value on the Packers. Where I really like the Packers, Week 3, let's go in a place they always go ahead and have no problem with the Detroit Lions. They go to the Lions. They're laying 2 in games of the year, and the Lions, obviously tons of talent, but Stafford's always making the type of mistakes that Rodgers rarely makes, and their new head coach, Jim Caldwell, everyone in the Lions should be fired immediately for hiring Jim Caldwell. You can say, well, when he was coaching the Colts and Manning went down, of course the Colts are going to struggle. Yeah, what happened to New England when Brady went down? They won 11 games, not 2 games, going 2-14. I don't think Jim Caldwell can coach a lick. I think Detroit, even with all that talent, is going to struggle, probably heading for another crappy, underachieving 7-9 record despite having lots of talent. I'll take the proven commodity, the Green Bay Packers, who I expect to be right back to their 11-12 win date, if not better. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be, especially if the receiving corps can stay healthy here. Best bet, we're going to make a free play here on this game as they go to Detroit. I will make it official. The pack is back. We're going to lay it. It's going to be cheap. We're going to lay 2 right now here in May, before Vegas even heats up and long before it cools back down in the Motor City. Late September, I expect Green Bay to be laying 4 in this game. Let's lay 2 right now. Lock it in with the team that is a little bit under the radar right now, the Green Bay Packers. As long as Aaron Rodgers is there, and I trust Aaron Rodgers, they will get the win. They get the win. They will get the cover. Been fun talking about the Packers, and we're going to be talking football. I'm going to be talking football. That is my expertise all summer long. I want to thank everyone for tuning in here, pregame.tv. And Thursday night, we will have basketball videos up with Marco D'Angelo, Ken Thompson, and the entire crew. Good luck to everyone in your wagers.